Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of It's a Progressive World, a lighthearted podcast about everything and nothing. As always, you can find timestamps down below, and please like and subscribe. Alrighty, Sam, what do we have today? I count one, two, at least three big aliens on the screen and two smaller ones up there.
Go, yeah. What a switch. What a switch. No, that was good. That was good. No, I mean, to be honest, if you recall the RFK picture with the arms, he
Oh,
does look a bit. He could be using alien technology at least.
well, I mean, here he looks
But
like he
no,
could be like, fighting, like aliens are fighting in the sky and he's the president and he's watching it. It's kind of like a World War kind of movie kind of thing.
yeah, I mean the
War of the Worlds.
pic.
Sorry, War of the Worlds. Right? With Tom
Oh,
Cruise?
I
Yeah.
yes, and well, H.G. Wells, yeah, right, book, very famous book. But he in this thumbnail, I suppose he's kind of looking at that alien. So
Oh yeah, and that and
it's like, come on, look, man, look. Are
and
are
Sam
you are you gonna
Cedar,
do mandates?
he's talking
Are you
about it's
gonna
like
do mandates?
I don't
What the hell? I don't know.
know. Sure.
Give me my money, please. But no, we have a very brief look into geopolitics this week before a very, again, brief look into celebrities and aliens and all the fun stuff. And then we're going to move on to just looking at YouTube personality segment, I suppose, of politics, which I guess what our show really largely has devolved into. We're gonna be talking about all the favorite characters from right and left this week. We've got Cenk, we've got Patrick, Bet David, we've got Joe, we've got Joe Rogan, couple of truly fascinating clips from Joe Rogan. Lex, just really, I mean, I'm so glad my algorithm has been infected. The algorithm of my YouTube has been infected with him now, because it's just unbelievable, just human levels of human stupidity. I've just never seen anything like this. So I never thought it's possible. I just genuinely did not think it's possible. And we're gonna talking of RFK, we're gonna discuss his potentially he's agreed again to have a sort of to see Max Blumenthal's presentation about Palestinian-Israeli conflict. He loves Max, okay? He loves Max Blumenthal. He's gonna see his presentation, and maybe it's gonna be a good presentation. Who knows? But so we're gonna discuss that, Jimmy Dore, briefly. And at the very end, I think we've got a couple of I've added something from Bad Faith, which was a very odd video. I think it might have been a sort of broadcast from the past type situation. I think the video might have been broadcasted from 2018 or 19. So we're going to take a look at that, and that's about it. Or there might be another thing I'm forgetting about, but I think that's it.
No, I think that was good. But what's the Cenk video? What's the Cenk
The
thing?
PDB one, the one that he's trying to bring left and
Oh,
right together, and he does bring left
I
and
don't
right
think I
together in
opened
their
it, but we'll get it.
in. No, I'm pretty sure you saw it. You told me about it.
No, I've
We
seen
talked
it,
about.
but I said I didn't open it like right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Oh,
I saw it like last week on the Vanguard boys covered it.
I see. And Cenk tries to bring left and right together,
Yeah.
and he
No,
succeeds
that's
in a very ironic way by uniting them in their hatred of Cenk Uygur. Just left, right, and center are now
This is
fuck
hilarious.
Cenk. We hate Cenk. All right, we'll
too
discuss.
funny.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's just, and I guess now we have to
PBD
discuss.
doesn't give two shits about him.
PBD.
Yeah, Patrick Bet David.
No, man, he's actually successful.
Huh?
He's actually successful. You're right. He doesn't give two shits about Cenk.
Yeah, because especially when Cenk like has this like long speech and monologue, asks him a
Yeah,
question,
exactly.
and he just asks him something totally different in response.
Patrick is I'm gonna talk about what I like to talk about, Cenk. I'm sorry. I'm the more successful guy from Middle East. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But okay, all right,
So
let's get the show going then.
let's start with a very, very quiet week on geopolitics, to be honest. Not much going on, the usual thing. The Niger coup and, the West African sort of situation, their conflict with France. And but are you not gonna are you gonna claim being a French issue expert or not?
No.
This is I'm foreshadowing for people. But Cami, are you not a French expert? You speak basically French, so I think you should claim to be a Niger expert at this point. You've heard the name of the country.
Yes.
You've seen more than 10 minutes of videos about it. But
yeah, I was just checking if there anything happened since the last time I checked. Okay, live, not much seems to have happened. And
go and I think the video I sent you is from a couple of hours ago, DW. It's actually a pretty good play.
Yeah.
This video, I think it's very good. It's fascinating, man. I think the what do they say? The paradigm is shifting. The tides are changing. Whatever is the saying. Apparently, a lot of people like this coup has popular support. There was they held the event. So, sorry, I always do this. I should give a bit of a brief before, jumping into everything. But there was a coup in Niger, which is supported by other coup leaders in the region, opposed by the economic and military alliance of the region called ECOWAS, if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm probably not. And in this coup, following the coup, ECOWAS issued a one-week ultimatum to coup leaders to release civilian leaders, or they will be faced with potentially military intervention. Then Mali and other countries in the region, I believe Guinea and Burkina Faso, came out in support of Niger. And now the one-week deadline has passed. They have not backed down. They have actually pretty much closed down the airspace of the country. They held the event in a stadium. Hundreds of thousands of people showed up. And Victoria Nuland, who some people may know from her Ukraine days, doing coup d'etat in Ukraine back in the days, was sent over there to negotiate with coup leaders, managed to meet with them, but apparently there is no they are not backing down. And it seems to have popular support.
That's interesting. And that's interesting. I wasn't aware of the popular support part too much, or that, some say there is, or neither that the Niger coup is being supported by other people who you're saying, I guess came to power through coups in the region, right?
Oh yeah, Burkina Faso and Mali, man, they have come out. I mean, not just like a support, like international relations talk is when you talk of support, it's mostly bullshit and rhetorical.
But yes,
if there is a military intervention,
yeah, if there's a military intervention, you were saying they said that they'll help out. Oh, I think our correspondent here is having some internet issues.
You paused for a second.
Okay, so internet is not that great in Niger, but okay, Sam is back.
I'm okay now. I'm in Tehran, back from Niger. As the internet issue was due to my transport. No, don't. By the way, don't dump this on me. They speak French, man. You are the Niger expert. I'm sorry.
I have yet to give my big take. We're gonna get to my big take.
Oh, we're gonna. All right. Play the video and then give.
Oh, I forgot about the video.
So you have some more information is added, and there is something in the video that I want to talk about.
Let me know how long to play.
Sure.
Detaining President Mohamed Bazoum, a coup that drew international condemnation and the threat of military intervention by ECOWAS, the West African Economic and Monetary Union. On Sunday, Niger's military junta ignored a demand by ECOWAS to reinstate the president. ECOWAS has imposed sanctions on the military in Niger and has called a summit, an emergency summit, for this Thursday. Well, there are U.S. and European interests at risk in this crisis. More than 1,000 U.S. soldiers are stationed in the country. Washington has spent $500 million training Nigerian armed forces in counterterrorism against Islamist extremism. Niger is also a major transit route for migrants heading for Europe. Will this latest coup change any of this? For now, the military junta is in control, and it is warning the outside world not to interfere.
Faced with the threat of intervention being prepared in a neighboring country.
Before getting further into the issue, and I want to talk about the American Interest 1000 thing, I think it's really important to really focus on the real issues here. If people recall our last episode, or people can go watch the earlier news report from this coup d'etat, the gentleman over here with these glasses, originally he had a blue turquoise uniform. It was a very beautiful bright blue, and it seems to have been taken away from him for some reason, and he's been forced to wear sort of a normal sort of khaki color thing. He has still got the blue sort of things over there on, what are they called, the ranks? I don't know.
But yeah, he
that's
lost
very
his
sad.
blue.
I'm very he lost his blue jacket. He
Yeah,
lost his
blue
blue
jacket.
uniform. I don't know what's going on. They told him you can keep your glasses, but you can't go full on hipster with the whole wife beater under blue. You know, that's just not gonna work.
That was funny.
So that was taken away from him. But besides that, the coup seems to be going well. Play a bit more. They mentioned
Nigerian airspace is closed from today, the 6th of August 2023, for all aircraft until further orders. All attempts to violate the Nigerian national airspace will be the object of a forceful and instantaneous response.
The window of opportunity is definitely still open. We believe that the junta should step aside and allow President Bazoum to resume his duties tomorrow, anytime in the near future. I don't want to put an assessment on when that window would be closed, other than to say that using diplomacy to achieve this objective is our top priority with respect to Niger, and we continue to pursue it.
All right, I want to bring in now Bill Roggio. He's a military analyst with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He was embedded with U.S. and Canadian forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. He joins us from Medford, New Jersey tonight. It's good to have you with us. The U.S. government, the European Union, European governments, they are watching the situation in Niger very closely. For our viewers who may not be familiar with the situation, tell us, why is instability in Niger? Why is it a problem for the U.S. and its allies?
From a regional perspective, Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa, has been sliding into chaos, largely due to there's been multiple coups in the region, and also some very vibrant jihadist insurgencies from both Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. And for that second reason, the jihadist insurgencies, Niger has become one of the main hubs for fighting, for monitoring and battling these groups, particularly since Mali's coup 2 years ago. The French were kicked out from there. Mali has descended into chaos. Much of the northern and central part of Mali are under jihadist controlled or out of reach of the government. And the U.S. has a major base there, where it's conducting drone operations and other air operations to monitor these groups and provide information to the countries in the region. And with this coup, that all of that is in jeopardy at this moment.
Yeah. And what happens then,
a lot of people,
Bill, if we do see chaos sustained in Niger, what can the United States do? I mean, it's invested, what, $500 million in training Nigerian armed forces. Is it going to have to just walk away from that?
I think the U.S. options in the region, unless it wants to insert its military, which, given the debacles in Iraq and in Afghanistan, and the current problems that the U.S. is having with battle Carolina, or doing that hub to get its hands dirty, I think it was ordered France to leave. And we'll see how that plays out.
This could be a foreign policy PR disaster for the United States. Just earlier this year, you have the U.S. Secretary of State saying that Niger was a model of democracy in Africa. And now you've got Washington describing the situation in Niger, but not using the word coup.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
This is what in international relations is colloquially we refer to as usually called getting Iran'd or getting Cartered. That you go to a country, American officials go to a country and say, this is such a stable and good country. What a cradle of democracy. Oh my God, this is fantastic. And within 6 months, you get fucked. There's either a coup or a revolution or something. But yeah. So what do you think? Tell us.
Oh, my big take. It wasn't a take whatsoever, really. I mean, kind of, is that I don't know if it was in this video or another video I heard that, the African region and leaders and African region leaders that said, you have until Monday to step down, right? Like we had heard
That's
here.
Yeah.
Or otherwise we're gonna attack. That has to be like the emptiest. I mean, literally, if those countries or if that group coalition block together, if they send actually armies, I mean, the only thing that will happen is that their armies would just get killed immediately if they go in at all. And then otherwise it could be like their downfall. I mean, that would be like the riskiest thing, unless you do it in a very kind of like mellow settle, which drags and then eventually they will stay there anyway, the new.
I mean, can you Google it? I assumed ECOWAS has some French backing as well. The group
makes it even worse. I mean, right now,
why
this
worse?
might get even more backing.
Well, French military has successfully intervened in Africa for
but the last few years, though, it's been again struggling, just like the Mali thing that they just said. Where was the other place that they took a big defeat after? You remember where like François Hollande were on the shoulder of the person
they took over oil rig. Do you remember? Oil refinery or something? Or maybe that was the Mali case. I don't know.
But anyway, the ECOWAS are all African states, but yeah, France could back them up severely.
All right.
But
my point
comes out to the same thing. But and Mali's one of them. No, sorry, Mali's one of them. And what about Niger? Of course, is one of them too. So they're only like 2 men down. And is anybody else?
We've got Sierra Leone and we've got Liberia. Liberia is leaving the room.
So I mean, they're already.
Sorry, the Syrian Leone leader just got shot in a coup d'etat, so they are with Niger now. Yeah. Okay. No.
Yeah, Cape Verde probably doesn't count.
Cape Verde is that doesn't count? Why doesn't?
I mean, do they have people?
They have
500,000 people.
There are visitors. There are seagulls that go to that place.
So yeah, they got Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria.
They got Nigeria. That's what you're saying. They've got Nigeria. That's all right.
But
man, that's yeah.
So and in general, like a military junta protecting its own land or the land that it's in is, I would assume, much easier than you sending people and trying to, fight them.
No, of course.
Especially if you don't have
But I would point out these. Apparently, one of the issues Niger is facing is as the expert was putting it so expertly, is a vibrant community of jihadists. I've never heard that adjective to like there's some lively jihadist right now.
It wasn't like this before. Before it was boring. Now you go out. It's really happening.
There's a vibrant.
You can feel it. Your goosebumps.
Something has changed.
Sunday night, Saturday night.
Your moods. You enter a jihadi mosque and you just feel the mood has changed. It's not the old time.
You can't get a seat for Friday prayers. You have to
They-
call 2
yeah,
weeks in
since they-
advance. Make a booking.
Since they installed the disco ball, it's a different thing. I don't know why he said that, but anyway, yeah. So it's a really weird sort of.
Yeah.
These are states that are kind of still forming, really, in many ways. But yeah, but I love this DW. DW is great, man. I've noticed DW is funded by the older brother of NATO because he's constantly like, so NATO. It seems now Africa, you fucked up in Africa now, huh? You really fucked up in Africa now. What are you gonna do about it? Huh? Are you hitting yourself now? Are you hitting yourself? It's like, it's so weird, man. DW is just like the what's it called? The super ego of the NATO is constantly being judgmental. And why did you do? Why didn't you do enough in Africa? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think jihadis would be so lively. I thought they are very boring. So
Alrighty, Sam. So time for a little bit of UFO talk. Everyone is milking this. 3 people who say that
this is sorry, this is truly global news, even though it involves largely planet Venus and America South, but it's global news. And this camera, this is The Hill. I don't know if you noticed, The Hill is a real news organization. Okay, listen to this title. I saw this, and this is from a news organization. Egg-shaped SUV-sized coat, UFO recovered, stored by U.S. military, Ross Coulthard. I don't know what stands for here. Confidential source, I guess. Reference confidential source. So, you read that on a news organization, not a comedy channel, not like, Comedy Bang Bang, not, Comedy Network, no. News organization, and you play it, and then let's play just a bit of the video after this headline.
Yeah.
A man witnessed an alleged spacecraft retrieved in the 1980s and stored at Area 51. That's according to investigative journalist Ross Coulthard, who during a recent interview discussed an alleged anonymous source who has contacted the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, an office that investigates unidentified flying objects, about the alleged craft.
According to the source, his great-uncle worked at Area 51 and saw a photograph of the object. And according to Coulthard, said it was, quote, absolute proof of non-human craft. Let's hear more about this.
Okay, it was amazing. It started with so you hear egg-shaped SUV size recovered. Then, according to a source in 1980s, okay, this is going 50 years back. This is good. And then it turns out it's not him, it's his great uncle
who saw a photo. You can make this up.
Amazing. It just keeps getting better and better. I'm not making this up. I had a great aunt. My mom's aunt, and one time we were very, annoying, and we were like, oh, we were very anti-religious at the time, and we were like, have you ever witnessed the miracle? Have you ever seen anything like that? Blah blah blah. We were like 7. This is us being 7, and she said, yeah, I went to a village one time and they showed me a stone and they said he was a man and he turned into a stone because he insulted the god. And she had 5 people at least she could call upon to at least, corroborate that story. This is one guy.
Jesus Christ.
This alleged object that was stored.
He said, quote, the object was egg-shaped, about the size of an SUV, silverish grey in colour, smooth, seamless, no control surfaces or propulsion visible, no writing, no symbols of any kind. A few men could pick it up, yet it could not be cut open and X-rays couldn't penetrate it. The best engineers at EG&G tried to figure out how to activate it and what its power source was to no avail. they finally came to the conclusion it was a probe craft sent here from another planet. This anonymous individual is willing to testify under oath before Congress. He also took a smartphone image of his great uncle's EG&G engineering group and their insignia patch, and he's authorized me to allow us to show that patch, which I'll send you after this chat, and you can cut it in, my friend. This individual has also interviewed with Arrow and has signed and dated an official memorandum of record. And he's also spoken with Tim Burchett as well.
Merton?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Meanwhile, UFO investigator and co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell, says that as many as 40 whistleblowers ready to come forward after David Grush's bombshell testimony on Capitol Hill. Let's watch.
Oh, I think you'll be hearing directly from people that have worked on these technologies, people that might even have.
I mean, I just before you hear from this guy, I like to know what the fuck is going on there. There's an old-timey typewriter there. There is a safe right behind him. I just like, is that the best thing to do, to keep the safe, to broadcast the location of the safe you have? It's just these people are definitely trustworthy.
No, that's true.
Definitely trustworthy.
But such a clown show. Such a clown show.
It's hilarious what he says. It's hilarious.
Have their clearances held in a kind of purgatory so they can't leave. I think that you're going to hear directly from people that ran programs, which, by the way, there were supposed to be 2 other legacy UFO program witnesses, one from an agency, that actually have much more of the story than you or me or anybody else. So that didn't happen. That should tell you something. So who are you going to hear from? As long as there's not some major problem that occurs, oh, you're going to hear from everybody involved. I mean, you're going to hear, man. This is something that's coming out. I'm telling you, there's no stopping it now. It's just a matter of vetting it all as you go, piece by piece, to start to understand a different version of what you've been told that reality is.
When's this going to happen, Jeremy? Do you think September?
I do not predict things. I do not have direct control on my finger on the button of.
I do not
tell you, not only have plans been made, they have been enacted to make sure to protect people. How the world handles David Grush is going to change everything.
I want to believe Robbie. But here's my
I'm a skeptic. You do believe.
They're gonna
I want to believe.
When Jeremy says
no, just because Robbie makes fun of it, but yeah, let's say we take Robbie's side anyway. As long as I get to say that.
We are on Robbie's side. We also like Robbie. We are like both sides mates.
That was cartoonish. Man, you know, like back in the day, like Joe Rogan literally had the same obsession that these people have 10, 15 years ago, and they would make fun of him. And then, yeah.
No, and before that, many years before that, and before internet, there was a word, you know.
I mean,
I swear to God, people don't remember it, but I swear we used to talk.
You were there.
No, but I love the fact that it's just, Camille, remember, look, in the next few months, after this bombshell testimony, people are going to come out. You're going to hear from everybody, including the aliens. It's going to change everything. But I don't make predictions, okay? I don't know. But it's going to change the world.
I love that. The way he was making it sound like is as if the aliens, as if he's like kind of saying when the actual aliens are going to come. Because he made it seem so excited. Wait, think about it. No, he said they're coming. Wait, who, aliens? Oh, no, just these... the people who know about it, they're coming out to tell you. And I mean, Brianna makes a good point. I guess maybe you didn't hear it, but I remember her making a good point where she's like, why now? Like, what changed now? Like, these guys, okay, they suddenly had a realization, no, we should come out with the truth post-COVID. You know, we should come out and talk about these aliens.
I actually remembered, in this segment, I kind of agree with Brie, but she makes the argument in such an awful manner that you just automatically, okay, I'm with Robbie now. I'm with I don't care. I'm with the aliens are coming.
No, Robbie's the other way. He's like, what the hell?
No, but you know, she brings up the idea that there was and then Robbie goes with the sexual Me Too movement is similar. There were
really? Oh yeah, no,
beforehand,
that's
and then the floodgates
sense.
breaks. No, but anyway, but like he's better at debating. Let's just say, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just love the fact that why is he so like I just like when people who are explaining to you secrets and global changing things are a bit camp, and they use a lot of hand gestures. Look, guys, this is gonna be unbelievable. It's gonna be like, you know, end of times or something. It's gonna be like end of time. The aliens are gonna come. We're gonna have discussions, and all the deep state's gonna come out. It's gonna change everything. I don't know. It's I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think
it's just? I mean, that guy literally reminded me. The guy literally reminded me of this clip that's gone viral. Okay, so just watch the clip once or twice. Everybody's seen it.
Ow! That back there is not real.
Okay, this is okay. It's without the Scooby.
Right? Ow! That back there is not real.
So it's just this lady who says that this video is just going around. It's saying, "I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker right there is not real." And he was, and this guy was like, "Huh? Nothing." She's just pointing at the passenger and saying this person is not real. We don't know.
Is she, or she saw a black person?
I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Okay.
And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going.
I swear, I don't know. He remind me of her here.
Have plans been made? They have been enacted to make sure to protect people. How the world handles button up, but I will tell you, not only have direct control on my finger on the button up, but I will tell you, not only have
it was just a slightly different version of her.
No, makes sense. But go to that lady. I think that lady there is two scenarios in my head. She's either genuinely having a mental issue, which is then it's not funny.
That's
or
true,
I think she might, or
you're better than everyone,
huh? Sorry. Oh shit! Yeah. I thought, sir, you're saying no. It's fine. Like, look at you because you have mental issues. That's okay. You're going the other way.
Okay.
No. But then I thought you're like, yeah. You're being the better. But. Is she racist or I don't know?
Because we don't know. There's nothing. Nobody has any info on this.
Yeah, this is so weird.
I mean, we know her background. Like,
we do.
She was like in the sense of like professionally very successful until a few years ago. I mean, maybe still was like named in one of these magazines as like an up and comer person. But here, yeah.
Is she famous?
In like some industry? No.
All right.
But like she was successful in like advertising agency or something like that. Yeah. No, just like not a celebrity.
Story evolved.
But yeah, man, I don't know what happened. But yeah.
Anyway, go to. We have another UFO video from another gentleman, though.
I mean, like literally, this UFO story is about these witnesses. This one like witness kind of thing.
That's the thing.
I heard this person say that is lasting 50 years.
People need to pay. Also, there seems to be reports that government is intimidating and putting pressure on witnesses. Also, by witnesses, also we mean grifters who are found a very quick way to fame and a quick way to ancient alien TV show. And by witnesses, we also mean people who potentially are mentally, challenged or have issues. And by intimidation and coercion, like back in the days, I know these words, if you look in the dictionary, meant like physical, put a gun to your head, we have a knife on your back,
show up at the door.
Taken. Yeah,
at least like have the courtesy.
we tail you secretly, or something for a few days. You get paranoid. No. They called them like on their cell phone or something, and they were like, "Can you not go? Can you please not go?" This is like
during daytime, of course. Nothing after 6 p.m.
with the phone from the FBI office and stuff, from like now NSA office, I don't know, wherever they call. It was like the number. There was no unknown number. The number of the office was recorded on the phone. So yeah, it's that's what they mean by intimidation.
So let's watch what this guy has to say a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess he's a politician, right?
We ended up seeing the 3 witnesses. Was there a plan to have more?
He's a welfare queen.
Absolutely. And we had one tell us that he'd received a call from, I guess, maybe the Pentagon, and he or she decided that maybe it wasn't best that they were on there. We had somebody who was an affiliation with NASA, and NASA will say, well, they didn't work for NASA. This is news to us, but it was one of their quasi something, I don't know. But anyway, and they turned us, or they backed out at the end. And then we had one more, I think, that backed out. And, we just had so many roadblocks from even the press conference. We were going to.
Why does this guy look like, he was sent to war for, I don't know, so many years, and then came back and giving his first interview. This guy, I haven't been able to eat much. Like, what are you talking about?
Listen, we had another witness. His mom called him, said that I disown you if you go and talk this bullshit on TV. I have some reputation in the state. And another witness turned out to be off medication, really. And now he's on medication. He's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. It's awful. It's really, truly government oppression that we are facing. And another one was from where are we? What organization was it? Who am I? What is going on here? I need to sleep, man. What do you want?
I've never seen such a sleepy politician.
Just lazy.
You can make all kinds of accusations. They're really sleepy.
One of them was from NASA, and then we asked around. It was like, not really NASA. It's like NASA. It's like a knockoff version of NASA. Yeah, they had the NASA logo, but they changed the stars on them. So
no, he wouldn't be bothered to go that far in his explanation.
It's just, what the fuck are you talking about? Somebody called somebody and they didn't show up. That's not like, his brother called him, shamed him into taking his medication.
If I would ever believe that the government, like really quickly, or part of government put out some kind of topic out there into like, the mainstream media and like the world, in order for you to not talk about thinking other stuff, it's this alien.
Oh, as a distraction, you mean?
Yeah, as a distraction. This one is just like the world's greatest one ever.
I have to. I mean, the thing is, Chaco guys make this argument, and I've been making this argument for a long time. Though they don't even really need to distract you. Though.
Oh, they don't. I think no. Don't get me wrong. I never ever think that. But I mean, if there was ever a time you could convince me, it would be with this one, because this one is just too funny. It's just too funny.
Yeah, no, okay.
We'll have hearings. How about all day, every day? How about that on aliens?
Exactly.
Does that sound like a good?
It's more about busy work. It's more about like you gotta do something, and this
you totally don't mind. Yeah.
So were they green or gray?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna put out a report in 5. Make it 6 weeks. Yeah, in 6 weeks we're gonna put out this report, and fine, 5.5. So, how about that? We have it. It's 2 pages. We need to redact 1 page. That's like a half a day work. But let's say 5 weeks, we have something to look forward to, get going and all that.
And if you're talking of aliens, I mean, I know we don't have evidence for them, but let's write a couple of papers and reports about if the aliens are from Venus, what should we do? If they are from Mars, what should we do? Let's write a couple of, we can spend at least a couple of years on this, right?
Too funny.
But man, it's
only
good.
You
I mean,
hear
to be
this
honest,
witness, bro. This one heard it from his dad. Okay,
man,
do you know how close that is? That's one step closer than you seeing it with your own eyes.
Yeah, mentioning witnesses, it reminds me of, as you know, my algorithm has been infected by Lex Fridman and PBD, and PBD had Neil deGrasse Tyson on, and I'm not the biggest Neil deGrasse Tyson fan. He's really good though in some ways, and he pointed out something which I always wished people brought up more, especially in news stories, that, you know, they were, I forget what, PBD was, you know, pushing some climate change bullshit. I think, was it climate change? I forget
or
what it
AI.
was. Anyway,
is it the AI
no,
one?
sorry, no, it wasn't climate change. It was no, COVID stuff. It was COVID stuff. And then what Neil deGrasse Tyson pointed out, I mean, their discussion evolved and, you know, it just went through branches and all that. But then what he pointed out is that for some reason, whenever it comes to sort of discussions and debates, conversations, or just, you know, just normal day-to-day stuff, anecdotally, we take witness testimony as so, like, you know, as so important, or as, you know, like the Joe Rogan video with the aliens from last week. Do you remember? There were 3 witnesses: Katrina, you know, Victoria, and Elizabeth.
Age
you know,
4 to
8. Exactly.
And the
It's
oldest
like,
one told us they didn't see an alien, but the younger 2, especially the very young one, she was convinced. She just turned 4 this year. She was 2 when this happened, but yeah.
We did offer her candy, and she said, I saw 2 aliens. So we offered more candy, and she discussed, she went on the ship, she told us it's just the idea that, no, I mean, besides the fact that people
anyway,
lie,
what point was he making?
You know,
sorry.
No, the fact that witnesses, besides the fact that witnesses, you know, he was making the same point you're, and hopefully I'm making, the idea that witnesses lie. Witnesses, besides that though, there has been quite a few social experiments in which just how faulty our memory is. Anybody who has, by the way, anybody who has ever thought about their own childhood can, or had friends which they shared memories, and then like a few years later they're like, do you remember that night? And the person is like, no, I don't. You know, like, no, it went like exactly opposite of what you say. Like, so
I mean, you can literally imagine things, like literally imagine things. And when once I remember my dad told a very short story of as if it's him that this happened to, but it was my mom. And he was like, yeah, I remember I was like behind the car and realized that it's a car. And my mom was like, oh, you were out of town. That was me. And he's like, oh yeah. So like he literally, like, you know, put himself in the story.
It's stealing valor from you. You're stealing valor from your
the front seat.
Yeah, I was in this crazy car accident. You have no idea. Your son, listen to me. Oh, that happened to you? Oh, no, man, I constantly have false memories about World War II, about World War I. Things that are, I remember the trenches, man, in World War I. I can't believe those aristocrats sent us to die. And I'm like, oh, that was 100 years ago. That's nothing. Iran wasn't even involved in, oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the witness thing you mentioned just reminded me of that.
And they're not even witnesses. They're like, okay, the witness told me that somebody had told them, and now I'm telling you after somebody told me.
20 years later, after I am on really, you know, quite frankly questionable dementia pills, I am now willing to tell you to tell others about the aliens.
I didn't know you wanted to know. If you had only asked, I just assumed nobody wanted to know. If only.
But it's like, by the way,
if it had come up, by the way, I would have, you know, definitely mentioned. Just never came up. So.
Again, I still think there is a very likelihood of a life outside of Earth, like some kind of, bacteria. I don't know, some other form. But it's just the idea that was an egg-shaped USU.
No, let me tell you something.
We did the X-ray. Guys. It didn't go through. Let's do. Anybody has any grenades? TNT? Anybody? Let's just blow this shit up. Let's see what happens.
But my last comment on this, and then I'll let you have as many last ones that you have. I just know this can just continue for
Fair enough.
For another 6 years. Is that okay? What's the name of that famous? He's like the Neil deGrasse Tyson of the UK.
Brian Cox.
Okay. And you know how like atheists, they usually say, or like, people usually say, well, I don't know for sure if there are aliens, but if I believe that this planet is nothing special and that there are all these million universes and galaxies and whatnot out there, so for sure in one of them, probably like statistically speaking and all that, there'll be another, there'll be other intelligent, species and whatnot out there. And he actually said, like, okay, I don't know. I think if I understood him correctly, he was saying, well, it's not also that for sure certain that there are other ones, even, or the statistics is much lower than you would think. Because he's like, there are 20 billion, and, we have been on this earth for like half of, like, 250,000 years, but the earth is, X billion years old, right? So he kind of used that to show that, this is only happening right now on this planet, right? So then he's like, the chances of there being another one, I think he said something like 1 in trillion. Anyway, his point was that it's also not that much of like, sure, if you look like, if you check 3 stars, there'll be, 1 planet in there, or like ours or something like that, or similar. Do you see what I mean?
So what you're referring to, I remember, I think, which even video you're referring to. What you're referring to is the Fermi paradox, named after a scientist called Fermi, which is the argument that how come, if the universe is so big and it seems so mathematically likely there is life outside of Earth, how come we haven't come across one at all, or they haven't come across us?
That too, yeah. If there are that many, one would have come, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right?
One of the solutions which I really like, which was mentioned, I think, by Carl Sagan and Brian Cox, kind of, I think this time thing adds to that, is the idea that civilizations, first of all, before Carl Sagan and Brian Cox, this is my view, it's just we are not intelligent. Biologically speaking, I don't think there is any difference between us and a stone, really. So this idea that we are all carbon-based. Now intelligence is now tool-making organisms or something like that. Okay, fair enough. We are special in that sense.
So I can replace you with a rock, or 2 rocks, then for sure I'm better off. Next time, can you just put 1 rock on each side?
3 rocks on each other. Okay, I'm better than that. No, but
how about you and a rock?
Two of me. No, the Carl Sagan, what's his name? Brian Cox argument you put forward is basically that, I mean, first of all, like
that the alien would have to be in that era of their civilization to have that capacity.
Exactly, and the unlikeliness and just how unlikely is for life to evolve into this sort of thing, because like if you look at our evolution, it's quite a a sort of thing. So yeah, exactly. And Carl Sagan thing was that most civilizations destroy themselves before they reach sort of interstellar, and there are arguments to be made that interstellar travel is just not possible by human physics. Like it's just because, for example, going to Mars takes 8 years, so like building machines that can last like how long a year. So it's
so long.
Again, it's not, I mean, look, I think it's probably likely there is life outside of Earth, but as in sort of two like life similar to us, I doubt it, to be honest. Yeah, I doubt it. And by the way, it reminds me, I don't think you've seen it yet, but the movie probably my favorite space movie of all time, Ad Astra, which is just Brad Pitt, amazing movie.
I see. But
yeah,
so
like it, to be honest.
Maybe I'll check out someday. But yeah, so long story short, there isn't a parallel universe where like we have a successful podcast. That's the likelihood of that are very low, basically, if I understood correctly.
No, that is very low because we're gonna have a successful podcast in this universe. Within the next, if we go at this rate, next 2,000 years.
Alrighty, Sam. So unfortunately, we have to move on from aliens. This video, maybe you want to tell everybody what it's all about. I listened to it a bit. The story was a little bit fun, but just so what you hear every day, just the usual.
I have a
Go ahead. First, explain what it is. I guess I don't know if you want me to play anything.
You know who Lizzo is?
Now I kind of know, but I mean I didn't know. So she's a singer.
So maybe play the beginning. Just play the beginning because they give a better summary probably.
Let's talk about Lizzo. There is a lot here. So I'm sure some of you guys have been following this. Lizzo, of course, known for her sort of body positivity and being this sort of like female empowerment symbol, you know, huge artist, many record-breaking hits, all of that good stuff. So pretty shocking then, given her brand, that she's been accused now, put this up on the screen, 3 of her former dancers have accused her of weight shaming, so fat shaming them, and pressuring them to do all kinds of crazy stuff at a strip club. Let me read you some of the allegations. They say that...
So 2 allegations, I guess. One is fat shaming, the other one is just different, which is making them do crazy stuff at a
like, yeah, like there are allegations that they had to touch stuff that are thrown from sex workers' vaginas, and they had to eat like a banana out of a sex worker's vagina. And then another person was shamed in a WhatsApp group for being a virgin or something. So these are the allegations. Now, well, I don't know, Camille, what's your take before I give you mine?
Nothing. Not surprised that somebody who, whether you agree with her message or not, that's a different story, but who's just a total hypocrite.
But they're suing her. Do you think she should pay up? And would you say this is abuse?
Who's suing? Employee.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I could
more of this video, right? You listen to allegations, like
a little bit, but it didn't really stick.
Like, let me. Okay, I'm gonna give you my take. Basically, I'm gonna get to the good part. So, the way the word pressure is used, the way Lizzo pressured them was it was in the same level of pressure or less pressure that, you know, NSA and NASA and
but that's
FBI
enough for a lawsuit against an employer. Different context.
Fuck no, man. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but fuck the law. I'm talking about morality right now. Fuck these people.
Wait, it's not about morality.
No, well, I'm saying this is bullshit, though. You shouldn't be able to sue people. If you don't want to work for Lizzo, don't work for Lizzo. I felt pressure to work for Lizzo. What do you mean I felt because they kept saying they felt their jobs were at stake. Well, don't do the job. You're not in like goddamn like a third world country that is like you're not being forced into child army or something, you know. Just go do.
I guess, job. But I mean that's not how. But that's not how at least you know. Labor laws and life and everything works. So it would be to your advantage to not let that happen and then try suing the person.
What in labor laws says that?
I mean, I don't know, just like a work situation is very different. So I mean, I'm just saying, even
They
if
were
you're trying to think from your
dancers.
own. Wow. So that's
No,
what
I'm
you
just
think about
no,
people who perform arts, huh? I
no.
see.
That's
I
their work.
see. I see.
No, people who do
It's
people
not
who
their,
do
so they
art.
can just be bullied, huh? Wow. That's
Not
what you think.
bullied, but no. I'm saying they are at.
That doesn't mean you have to eat bananas, Adam. Okay, you're a dancer.
Don't eat
Go
bananas.
lick that person's
Go
butthole.
find another job.
No, but
I'm
just
sorry, but this is
but if somebody even
this
just
is
mentions that to you, you can sure start slowly looking for a new job, but you can also sue the employer and get something nice out
I
of
don't
it.
think no, man. In these cases, I don't. This is like a performance art situation. This is not like
Wow. This is
What do you
wow.
you keep doing this today? You keep doing this.
No, I see
You
what you think. You have no
meta-analyze me.
respect for these ladies. No, I see.
No, I have. No, I do. This is not like some governmental, like they put a policy, like, we're gonna. You've thrown me off my balance now. I don't know how to respond. I don't know if I'm a sexist person or not now.
No, you're some kind of dancist, or I don't know,
dancist
performance.
diamond. Well, they shouldn't, like, fuck off, like, get another job. This is like when it comes to performance arts and stuff, especially this is
You're
not
going
like
back
some
to the to the performance.
I'm sorry, but
So in other contexts, you wouldn't be okay, or like, why do you keep on bringing up the profession?
no, because in that context, touching stuff from somebody's vagina, I
She's
suppose,
a backup
like,
dancer. No, she doesn't work.
I
And
don't
the
they
red
do
light
that?
district. What? Is this person
I-
not a
I've
normal
seen-
singer? Those are just
Have you
singers.
seen their performances? The things they do with the pole, and I thought the dildo might be involved too. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what kind of person I don't know who she is,
What
but if
is
she's a
this?
normal singer, I mean,
think
I
this is
think,
the
you know,
perfect,
those
by
are
the way,
just
example for
dancers.
people who are still listening to this nonsense. This is an example of why you shouldn't talk about shit you have no idea about. But the type of dances they do, man, it's like saying a stripper suing somebody because they said take
No,
off your bra
that's a
tag.
bad
No?
example. That's a horrible.
No,
Horrible
no, that's the
example.
exact same
No,
example.
what?
No,
What?
why
A
not?
concert is not the same as a strip club. If not, I would go to
Come
concerts
on,
much more
please.
often. Or like, you know,
No, come on.
I've
It's
been
more
every
like
concert in Geneva.
1 degree.
Who's playing today?
Okay, 'cause
Great, great.
I've heard of concerts in Mexico where ladies do fantastic
Well, okay, I
things.
think you have to stop.
No,
and you clearly shouldn't ever go to a concert.
I expect really amazing.
If you go to a male concert, then I'll be like, okay, I understand.
So,
let me warn you, by the way, the male version, they don't strip either, in case you confused that and you thought I meant.
So Bruce Springsteen doesn't take his clothes
Yeah, no.
off.
The Beatles didn't perform naked.
No, I assume, okay, putting the dildo thing aside, the dildo and banana thing hasn't been confirmed, but the rest of the thing about the fact that she said you weren't doing good, you weren't, fuck off, like they can do that at least. If you're hired an actor to perform in your movie, man, and the movie production takes 3 months and he gets fatter or thinner during that, like, what the fuck, like this, like it comes with the territory of art, you know.
Oh yeah, but although, I mean, I didn't even, when I was listening to the video, I mean, I didn't even realize that there's a lawsuit and all that. I just thought, you know,
I thought there
another
was a
case of a
lawsuit. Check
hypocrite.
Oh, I mean, sure, she's a hypocrite, but you know, that just goes with the territory, I suppose. But check the lawsuit thing. Maybe we are arguing over nonsense. That could possibly be.
Lizzo faces backlash after hypocrisy exposed. Yeah, but you know about the lawsuit. It's in the pipes. RFK Jr. is representing the viewer.
Oh, god damn it!
I don't know. Maybe there is.
Lizzo forced those dancers to take COVID-19. Okay, at this point, I don't care. I don't know. There was also, did you hear Jennifer Aniston thingy?
Oh yeah.
she's awful. She's like the worst person ever.
Yeah.
Every like time we cover her, like that time she's like one of those nepo babies, and last time she was shitting on people who are like internet famous.
Yeah.
Now,
No, that
this
pissed
time
me off to
around,
no end.
yeah, that was so annoying. And now Jamie Foxx has tweeted something about fake friends, and some asshole organization was like, "This is about Jews." It's like nobody thought that until you brought up this thing. Nobody like not since 1970. Anybody born out like post 1980s doesn't associate Judas with like the whole of Jewish community. All right, it's just like you have to be a real like psycho to still like think that. At any rate, Jennifer Aniston first liked it and then took back her liked and said, "I don't tolerate hate." As if, by the way, like if you do, like, oh my God, Jennifer, I'm sure the hateful organizations are all now crying because Jennifer Aniston doesn't tolerate hate. I mean, so much power she has. Jesus, get over yourself.
No, I mean,
awful person.
Yeah, no, she pissed me off so much with that actor comment. And the funny thing is, like, she came for Friends, and many would have probably argued back then, like, she doesn't know how to act or something. So it just made it so ironic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not like she's like some obscure person who was like always in theater or whatnot, and then like you don't.
And I just mentioned she was a nepo baby. She was a nepo baby. Her family was like production royalty in Hollywood. Not to mention, she's one of those losers, in my view, that changed her family name because it's too ethnic. She's like Greek. She changed it to Aniston because it's too
Well, I mean, everybody in Hollywood has fake names, right? Like a lot, like 50% of actors.
A lot. I think. I mean, except Nicolas Cage, who did it because he didn't want to use nepotism. He did it pretty much because of the opposite reason.
You're showing your sexism here, huh?
That's
and the man that
today you are really on my case. By the end of this show, I'm accused of sexism, racism, dancism or something.
I'm gonna bring it up with Peanut.
I'm gonna become Me Too.
You see, she's barking right now. Oh, and my
Jesus,
sister's dog came too. She won't be in this. People won't be able to see her, but she's here. Well, all right, okay.
She's more active than your phone dog, I feel, right? Let's move on before I get more accusations against me comes up.
So I actually watched this video this debate between Reza Aslan and Patrick Bet-David on Christianity and capitalism right after I had watched what's it called? Right after we did our watch along of their debate on Iran. So I mean, I just couldn't get enough of it.
Me neither. And let's tell the people the full title: Pillars of Democracy, Christianity and Capitalism. And
that made so little sense that my eyes just didn't see it. It just went to Christianity and capitalism. For me, it started here.
I mean, the delusions are unbelievable, but they play just a little bit because this is one of those cases of just fantasy. Like I love the fact that, I mean, Reza Aslan should be better than this. This guy has a PhD and stuff, and now he's just basically, we are doing fantasy sort of role playing, like what if play, just unbelievable.
A new country. Yeah. Which religion would be the best religion to start the country on?
Which religion would be the best religion to start a new country? This is a really, really good question, because on the one hand, no religion has a monopoly on democracy. The idea that democracy fits better with like Christianity than it does with Islam is demonstrably false. But the one big advantage of Christianity is that it has fully and completely married itself to capitalism. And so if you were going to start a country that required economic success, capitalism is the right way to do it. So I would say, yeah, probably some kind of Protestant version of Christianity would be a great start.
Hey, I'm a Lutheran. If they make me king of the world, then
democracy,
I'll join that.
liberal democracy,
you're
isn't
not
dependent
you're as
on
much of Lutheran
secularism.
as your shit.
Secularism does not a democracy make. Pluralism is what makes democracy.
Half decent point.
The whole
for this
point of a
podcast.
democracy is that individuals get to vote on
like the
things
only
based on
correct
their
term
own personal
defined
ideas
here.
and beliefs. And whether you like it or not, for the vast majority of humans on Earth, their personal beliefs and identities are enwrapped around religious identity. So to say that religion should not have a role to play in democracy means that there's no democracy. That's what that means. The question is, can you have the proper safeguards in place to make sure that people who do not adhere to that majority religion or to religion at all are equally protected from having their rights infringed upon by the religion of the majority? That's what the United States was supposed to be with the anti-establishment clause. But we are 350 million people, of which 150 million of us are right-wing evangelical Christians who believe that the country is a Christian nation and should be based on Christian
nominally
principles and laws, and that non-Christians would have a sort of secondary role, as second-class citizens in that kind of country. Well, that's legit. That's like half the country.
Okay, I think that was like I didn't catch that the first time.
You think that's exaggeration?
That's not. I've never heard. Everybody likes to shit on the U.S.
Think that's exaggeration?
I've never seen to that extent. No, I mean, first of all, I would give it
Google.
that how many Americans would even identify Christian and religious to that religious and Christian and identify?
You're underestimating.
I would say 70 to 80 million.
Okay, Google evangelicals numbers in US. So excluding Catholics who are basically evangelicals.
Quarter
in the US. Quarter. So quarter of 300 million is what? You were right, about 70, 80, I guess.
Yeah, but it's actually 350 million. But some half, like he was saying. And then he took it further and he said, and he thinks, and who would think that non-Christians should be second-class citizens. Again, I think then another half of that goes away. I don't think a quarter are. I mean,
okay, fair enough. No, I would agree. You know what I
he quadrupled the numbers easily.
Let me tell you, I would. That's why I said nominally, in name only. I think there might be 150 million evangelical Christians, Protestant in US. But I think the people who pay attention to this level of detail, to understand even the difference between a first-class and second-class citizen, are maybe 10%. Yeah, maybe 10% of the whole population. So yeah, you're right. I think there is probably, but the reality is, if it comes to voting or not a street fights, but like a street showings of strengths, those 100 million would show up in support of that, like very, very minor. I completely, I would say majority of people are basically doing their own, like the everyday shit. They don't pay attention to they don't think about what is first class, what is second class. They're just trying to get through life.
And plus many are kids here. Right, I feel like, I don't know if that was factored in or...
I don't think so. America has a relatively older population.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mostly adults, so I think that's fair. But I just love the fact that, so Kamir, if you were Superman, who would you save? Would you save first Africa, or would you first go to Myanmar, or say, like, what is this? Like, by the way, I used to say, there is this always thinking that, is the education of the people lacking? What is going on? And then you're like, people who have PhDs are talking this sort of nonsense. They're doing fantasy football league about capitalism and Christianity doesn't exist, as if Christianity is one fixed thing all throughout the ages, or Islam or capitalism or any of these concepts, theoretical concepts. And then you realize that in my view, this is a bit of a serious point, maybe you push, but I do think the main problem is, and you don't have that with conservatives even, that are old-fashioned conservatives that are like, I feel like nobody knows history anymore. Nobody understands history, like how things have, like Christianity was a mode of thought developed in this period of time, and then this came about, and then this came about, and you know.
My guess would be that nobody ever did.
It's like, I feel like experts were a bit more historically I guess I just religious scholar.
Maybe history was more extensively studied 50 years ago, maybe.
Or maybe the experts they allowed on TV were serving a different audience. Maybe that was the reality of it. Yeah, you're right. I'm being a romantic. Yeah. It was just so weird to me that that's such a good question. Now, okay, let's say we have Buddhism with socialism. Okay, how would that work? And then we have, okay, Buddhism with, what are you talking about? Like, countries are based on geography, based on a developmental level. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Democracy, plural, like Islam, Christianity. If you don't have like economy or like a city, like it doesn't make any difference. Like,
how are you supposed to get the Friday prayer without those? It's just simply not possible.
I don't know what the fuck are you talking about.
What's it called? Keep that history point and argument for if ever you get to interview Matt Taibbi. I would bring it up. I think you'll get a more positive reaction. You had the good old days, I remember.
Yeah, the journalists were all fat. It was, you couldn't find one journalist. You couldn't find one journalist with a full head of hair. Not one journalist with a full head of hair. That's a thing. And now you look at them, all of them have fillers. It's disgusting. Sorry,
but play a few more minutes.
Just a bit more, because PBD comes out the best with some of the best comebacks.
All religion can threaten democratic institutions, but if I were to start all over again and it had to be founded on a religious tradition, I think I'd probably
don't know what democracy means.
So in other words, you're a capitalist Protestant who chooses to argue socialist Muslim. What a strange life.
That's about right.
So listen, man, the way I want everything to be is a Protestant capitalist, because it makes me
wrapped in a contradiction.
But do you know, first of all, I appreciate you for being honest, because you could have taken that and manipulated it and taken many different angles.
Like, these words don't mean anything. Socialist Muslim is against Christian Protestant. What is sorry, Protestant capital? Yeah, it's just part of a bad David. You should be against Protestant. You're from Church of the East, my man. You're from Church of, I don't know, maybe Syria or Armenia.
Didn't say he's for it.
Didn't he say I'm for Protestantism? Or maybe he was saying Aslan is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought he was saying he is.
To kind of make the argument better for you.
But yeah, it's just.
But you took the argument and just straight up said what would make you feel safer. Why didn't you say Muslim? Why not start a country and it being based on Islam, Muslim being the original foundations of the country?
What does that mean?
Again, so
starts a country,
right? There are multiple
and a socialist. Why not create a country based on, like the Judeo-Christian? No, we're going to be Muslim. We're going to follow Prophet
Muhammad.
We're going to have a socialist nation. Why don't you start a nation based on
I would also excise the phrase Judeo-Christian from your language right away. That's a bullshit phrase invented by white Protestants.
It upsets you.
In order to bring Jews into the fold.
What do you make of that? Because he really got fixated on that use of that term, and he goes on to say that that's a complete contradiction, because Christianity brought about I mean, Christianity was the death of Judaism, he says. So how can they be Judo-Christian?
Well, no Jew uses the term Judeo-Christian. And the contradiction between those terms is hilarious. The whole point of Christianity is that there's no more need for Judaism because one Jew said so. So it's just Judeo-Christian is just this bizarre fake term to basically mean white. Funny. That's what it means. It means white.
He's right in a sense, but I kind of want to point out the hypocrisy of the sort of liberal left people at the end. Maybe you can timestamp this because I like to show off my, I guess not. So Judeo-Christian, he's completely right. It was like a term invented in early 20th, maybe mid even 20th century, largely to separate, to say basically, guys, Jews are in now, Muslims are out. Okay, after World War II, we really fucked it up with the Jews. Now we have to let them in. The Muslims are out now because situation has changed. So let's that is the idea, and he's right. It's kind of about the idea of whiteness, about the Jews that are white. Unlike those Jews that are black or even like sort of Middle Eastern, and because there are black Jews from Ethiopia. So that is true. But at the same time, I genuinely think we need to stop really talking about Judaism. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Before I go to my point, he's also right to say, to point out that, Christianity is very much, I think it's a technical point to say that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you froze. To say that, one Jew said Judaism is over. Sorry, Christianity it's a bit reductive to say that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
he's right. But he's right to say that Christianity is much, 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 much more hostile towards Judaism, and historically has been, and theologically is, compared to Islam. Islam very much, pretty much from the offset, accept Judaism as a sort of a, sort of a part of a society thing. Christianity is very much a rebellious against the, a religious order, at least the type of Christianity. I mean, Martin Luther, Protestantism. Martin Luther famously, we discussed this earlier.
I'm a descendant of him.
All Jews.
Okay, I didn't hold that consideration. Well, I said that at a very bad time. I said that at a very bad time. I feel like you're about to follow up with something terrible there. I do not condone that.
You go on my case. You go on my case in this episode. You are a descendant of him, and he famously came out with the Jewish libel, I believe, which
and I denounced them basically.
Did you? And which the basic said all the Jews are responsible for the murder of the Christ, which was used by Hitler as a justification, a partial justification for his atrocities against the Jews. So he's right about all those things, but the thing I wanted to point out, I think we should stop just using Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, to be honest, that much. We should talk about Abrahamic religions, because within each Islam, different sects of Islam, and within different sects of Christianity and different sects of Judaism, there are more commonalities sometimes between them than within them. For example, Shia Islam to some cults of Protestantism or whatever. So my point being that I think we should much more, like when we talk about India, we talk about Hindu religion. But if you look into it details, it's just like, there's all these sort of divides, just like, some of them follow Jesus, so like some of them follow Vishnu, some of them follow another one, whatever. And I think we should really stop, like, it's not a very good term. Christianity, Islam, they are not very precise terms. We should talk about Abrahamic religions. And then if we want to be precise, talk about a specific sort of branch, I think.
Yeah, I suppose, I guess. I mean, you can, sometimes that level of generality is enough, and sometimes it's awfully inadequate. But yeah, I understand your thing that within each Abrahamic religion, using your term here, within each one of them, their sects might be closer to different Abrahamic religions than within their own Abrahamic religion, if that made sense.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah.
And let's not forget that you're a descendant from anti-Semite called Luther.
Whoa, no, I take that back. I take that back. But yeah, this is a fun one. If anybody's into this kind of talk and PBD and stuff, continue. And of course, like a few times they ask each other, like, are you a capitalist? Yeah, I'm a capitalist. You're a capitalist? Oh, I thought you weren't that much of a capitalist. I'm a super capitalist. And yeah, that part is funny too.
But I think that's, by the way, a misnomer as well. There are no capitalists.
Okay.
There is
Put your professor hat. I agree. We can have this conversation for every single term that's gonna come up now. For every single video.
They showed this to me. They showed it. I wasn't such a pedantic piece of shit. Go to the next video.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Should we do Cenk just before this?
No, but should we not finish off with PBD?
Cenk was on PBD as well.
Oh,
that's why
yeah,
I maybe
true,
should do
true.
Cenk.
Or no, I would do Cenk. Okay.
Cenk, because then Joe and Lex after that, because Lex is a friend of Joe. I thought that just makes sense.
Sure, that's also one way. I like how you give your justification and show your work. As long as you show your work and your reason, I'll accept it.
Look, I'm one of those like conspiracy theories. I have a pattern. It might be a crazy pattern, but there is a pattern.
Alrighty, Sam. So let's continue. Sorry, with this PBD stuff. And here's PBD and Cenk playing the video through the Vanguard boys. And really, we're just gonna focus on this one question that Cenk asks, but really PBD's answer. However, just before we play right now, I realize right now, setting up the click at the right place, that this makes it even funnier, that PBD actually tells Cenk, you had one more thing that you wanted to bring up, right? So like very narrow focus now, you know, the focus is just this one more thing, like you bring it up and we'll, you know, I assume talk about it. Most people, when they mean that, okay, you bring it up and it's not like, okay, you say, and I don't want to spoil it.
No, you bring it up. And I'm going to bring up something else.
Let's see. Let's not spoil it. You just gave up the end. But I think it will still surprise anybody who hasn't seen it.
Crazy, but who could have seen that coming, right? Republicans
Just
only caring about
fast forward
the
through these two idiots.
What?
It was good, very helpful. Did you have one other? You said you had one other thing.
Yeah, one other thing is, look, guys, I'm curious. I'm genuinely super curious what you guys think. Look, I've kind of given up on Congress. I tried the inside strategy. I tried to help Bernie. I formed Justice Democrats. We got 11 folks in Congress now. But they just won't do it. They won't pass any laws that Americans care about. And by the way, the culture wars makes everybody rich. And so the right wing loves the culture wars. The left wing loves the culture wars. The country hates the culture wars. And the country gets nothing because of the culture wars. So what I want to do is ask right wing shows, left wing shows, and every show in the middle, can we unite on any policy? Because everybody says that the country's divided, hopelessly divided. I know that isn't true. We are hopelessly divided on some issues. Race, gender, etc., but we are not divided on economic issues. So maybe this is the best show to come on to ask for this. Maybe this is the worst show. I don't know. You tell me. But paid family leave polls at 84%. 3/4 of Republican voters say yes, I want moms to have a break after they deliver their children. Okay. So can we push from the outside? Can the right wing and left wing go, yeah, we agree on this. Forget everything else. We hate each other on everything else, but we agree on this. Give moms a break. Okay, give them 12 weeks off after they deliver. That's pro-mom, pro-conservative, pro-life, right? It's also pro-progressive. We all agree. Can we push from the outside and say, God damn it, you do your stupid Hunter Biden investigations or your brilliant Hunter Biden investigations, whatever you want. But as you're doing all of that, can you just give us one bill? Paid family leave. Moms get 12 weeks off. In Estonia, they get 82 weeks off.
That's a funny.
In Sweden, they get 64 weeks off. In Japan, they get a whole year off. Why? Because they want to encourage people having kids. They want to encourage families. That's why 3/4 of Republicans agree. Now, why don't they do it if 84% of Americans want it? Because they're all corporatists. The corporate Republicans and the corporate Democrats, 12 weeks off, are giving up on the inside. Yes, paid family leave. God damn it, give them at least 12 weeks off, right? That maybe we could get it passed.
You know, this is so beautiful. Like, no.
Okay, so now he's gonna ask this question. Sorry.
Pause.
Hold on.
Where's this poll? The 84%.
Just before
Do you know
any poll, you can look up any poll on.
I just love the fact that it was like a 5 minutes lecture focused on pushing from outside to inside and all that. It was not like he mentioned something. He was really passionate about it.
Yeah, no. That was the one thing that he wanted to talk about.
Do you think that this would ever fucking happen?
Where's this poll? The 84%. Do you know
any poll? You can look up any poll on paid family leave.
I just typed in right now. So
Yeah.
if you can find it, Rob. But
What is the current time?
Paid time, zero days
Wait,
off.
mothers don't
Zero.
get-
Moms have to go back to the assembly line the day after they deliver.
That's
That's in America.
well, I didn't. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but Pete Buttigieg had a baby with his guy.
Exactly.
He got 3 months. Didn't he get 3 months?
Yeah, he
off?
got month off. You know why?
How?
Because
I'm
24%
not
of
trying to be
Americans get
offensive.
paid family leave. Only 24%. Everybody else in the world, 100% get it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Who are the 24%? All rich people.
Oh, wow.
All executives, all government officials,
All rich
etc.
You got 3 months. Yeah.
So exactly.
I want him to put the question to PBD.
You don't do that. We don't just on their necks and you.
What can we agree on? Okay.
If we breathe down their necks and you guys breathe down their necks, they're gonna notice. Media controls everything.
This is the real question.
Okay. Do me a favor. Pull up. It was 74% Republicans, 83 Independent, 94% Democrat. This is July 2018. Can you do me a favor? Let's see if we can agree on this. Pull up the Neil deGrasse Tyson video. Okay. Let's see if we can agree on this. So here's a clip. I want to know what you think about the scientist, what he's saying. Whether you and I can agree that this is absolutely ludicrous, or you may say, no, I think there's a point here. Go ahead and play this clip.
The point is, apparently, the XXXY chromosomes are insufficient.
This is too funny, man. I mean, it couldn't get more random than this. He was like, no, you asked what we can agree on. No, he didn't ask what we can agree on. He told you what's the thing that we should agree on. You know, he's the kind of person who's like, okay, let's play football. And then you show up, he's like, okay, what kind of sport do you want to play? We said we're going to play football.
You mentioned the ball. You mentioned the ball.
So, here's my tennis racket. Go. It's like, okay, pull out the video of that scientist.
No, man, it's like a guy that you're like, you know, in the middle of a football, you're like, we should do a game together. And he's like, yeah. And you're like, okay, you like assume, like considering you were in the atmosphere of football, it's a football, but then you go to this salon and the guy shows up with a backgammon and like, you said we should do a game, we should play something. This is the game I like to play. How about this? It's so weird.
You said we should play sometime. This is sometime. Let's play.
There is a full explanation for his behavior, though. This is a very
that
common
he lost
tactic
focus, just like you.
No.
I think he just heard the stats. He remembered the stats. That is like, oh yeah, when you hear stats, you question. Pull up the stats. Okay. Now that the stats are out of the way, okay, bring up the monkey video. Bring up the monkey video. What do you think of this? Yeah.
So he said, "Do you agree?
Yeah,
do you agree? Agree? Disagree? Okay, I got it. Okay, I have it. I have a video. You said agree or disagree. I have a video for you. I agree with this. Do you agree with it? But play the Neil deGrasse Tyson video.
Well, this is a different topic. This is not in the lineup. This is
no, we're gonna do it. Patrick wanted us to do it, man. Patrick.
Okay, so now we're gonna listen about chromosomes. I'm not too sure.
No, but I have a full-on explanation. Like, I so realized, like, I was so right about him. Like, after I was wrong about him being Italian, I was so. He's like
once
in
I
the
put
Joe
you
Rogan
in the right
video,
direction.
Exactly. Once you put me in the right direction, I was like, my analysis was top notch. I mean, we're gonna go to the Joe Rogan video in a bit. Maybe we take a break, maybe we don't. But I think that video and this video proves him to be the most Persian man I've ever seen. Like the negotiation technique he's using are the most Persian. And by Persian, I mean Persian. Like inside baseball for people like I'm Northern Iranian. I fucking hate Persians. And they always do this. These motherfuckers, they always do this. And he's one of them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So
because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. Either the one you're assigned, the one you choose to be, whatever it is. And so now so now just to tie a bow on this.
So right culture
No, sorry, pause.
That shit.
Yeah, they don't actually play the rest of it.
No, I was joking about playing the rest of this. I thought you're gonna go to Joe Rogan.
Okay, let's go to Joe. No, let's just watch. Yeah, this Joe one. Oh, Jesus. So PBD, I guess, went on Joe Rogan.
Go to maybe the Trump one first, because that comes before.
I mean, I'm allergic to more than 30 seconds of this just because of how cringe it is from both sides. Oh yeah,
another one, the Trump one.
Oh,
not
wait.
the GIF. No.
Oh, I opened it twice.
No, there is another. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I opened this one accidentally twice. Okay, there we go.
So when you
having Trump, Joe Rogan's reasoning for this has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Ready? So PBD on Joe Rogan. Title of the video: Will Joe Rogan interview Donald Trump?
Having Trump on.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Looks like you got something.
Maybe.
Okay, good. That's good. I think that's.
Look, at a certain point in time, it's just like it would be interesting to hear his perspective on a lot of things.
All you have to do is Google that or go to Rally. I mean, he spends all day giving his perspective on everything. But no, Joe Rogan at some point.
Wait.
I would like to know, what is it like when you actually get into office? I would like to know things like what is it like versus like when you actually. It would be interesting to hear his perspective on a lot of things. I would like to know, what is it like when you actually get into office? I would like to know things like what is it like versus perception?
Yeah.
What is it actually like when you get in that building? Like what are you greeted with? When do you know that people are fucking with you? When do you know that the intelligence agency is lying to you? Like when you decide.
I mean, the level of ambition there in his curiosity is just absolutely
amazing,
concerning.
Right?
I want to know what's in the fridge. No, actually, wait, that's really interesting. Hold on, I take that back. But
I don't know the feel. So, I mean, first, the idea that you have to get to the White House before you know that the intelligence services are lying to you. It's just. I mean, look. It's just. Unbelievable. Like, I like to know how.
Are we ever that stupid? I guess we are sometimes, right? It can't just be him.
I think maybe I was when I supported Bernie Sanders. That may have been like these days. I think I don't know. How do you feel when you enter any room, Joe? I'm interested to know. Like, tell us, because I don't feel much when I enter buildings in general. I don't like. What the fuck are you talking about? God damn it, man. God damn it. Like, really. Like, yeah, what is.
And the PBD guy, he's coming, huh? Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, but man, you have to, I think you didn't listen to more than 1 minute of this. You have to hear his reasoning. It's unbelievable behind why, and I think you will be convinced by his reasoning.
Of who, Joe or PBD?
PBD he makes such a good case for why this interview should happen.
Let's see.
What he decided to fire Comey. What was the thought? How much did you know? Like what's the machine like? What is the deep state really like?
Pause.
Really like?
Again, sorry.
Because we have all these,
Sorry, but yeah, and yeah, Trump is the best person to tell you.
No, it reminds me like that time.
Trump,
I think
the man who's watching TV most of the time in White House and tweeting, what is the machine like when you are working hard, like figuring out the different departments of a state and how like a State Department connects to Pentagon and how are these deep relations between the different branches of government that is undermining our democracy, Mr. Trump. Did you hear Joy Behar tweeted that mean bitch? She tweeted against me. So I was thinking of calling her mean bitch. What do you think? Do you think that's gonna land? Do you think that's like, what do you think Trump is gonna tell you about the deep state, man? I mean,
no,
it's
just pathetic, just pathetic. But yeah. It reminds me of that time when I think that's what happened. Maybe I've repeated the story so many times it has changed, but it just reminds me of the time when someone asked them, why do you really want to know that aliens exist and all that? It's like, well, I want to know if the government lied to us. And, there are other ways. I can think of 10 other ways you can reach the same conclusion.
Joe, rest easy. They did.
They did. Okay.
They did. It's all lies. They did.
All right, let's just hear what PBD has to say and then move on next video.
Smoky room perceptions from the Bill Hicks joke, or they bull.
Yeah, I'll tell you, really looking forward to seeing you and Trump together.
Yeah, you keep pushing that.
I think, okay, I'll tell you from my perspective, like, on why you ought to consider it when you do it. I'll just give you my, just so you know, he and I don't speak, it's not something that is like, hey, his camp saying go in there and do this and do that. No, I've never interviewed the guy. So it's not like I'm, lobbying for it. But I think if,
just before
when you think about sports or.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He was definitely, just to make it clear though, he was definitely contacted.
Now that he said
the Trump team. Now, like, as again, let's remember he's an Iranian and I'm pretty sure he's of the Persian kind. Usually these minorities are, and he's definitely lying. He's definitely lying there. He was definitely, and we come back to this lie again at the very, you have to play the very end of the video as well, by the way.
Okay, all right, so let's just play a little bit of this.
Or you think about fights. What is the boxing world if Frazier Ali never happens, right? What is the UFC world if DC John Jones doesn't happen? Or Khabib Conor doesn't happen? And they're both at their peak and those fights don't happen. We can go on with sports, with baseball, with interviews of Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jackson. You go look at,
you can't, but okay, don't move on to movies or TV shows or like.
I thought this was like, to me, this was like saying suddenly, like comparing to like very, very shitty, like street actors and then saying, this is like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino just going against each other in Michael Mann. Michael Mann directed film.
This is like not.
Like, what the fuck? Are you stupid? Like, again, I don't know much about boxing or sports, but I've been told Muhammad Ali Clay was a good boxer. He wasn't mixing origins. He wasn't mixing origins with oranges. He wasn't.
And Joe Rogan is not.
Kofefe.
And Joe Rogan isn't their opponents. He's not running for president. He's not fighting. Or like the comparisons make no sense.
Even formatically doesn't make sense. You're so right. Now go to the last. Yeah.
He's gonna talk again now.
I think you did.
I could tell you, Joe, don't go live with this podcast. And
go a bit
until,
before.
even if it's mind, it would say 100. No, Joe, they get to, whoever gets to say no, they're in control.
Right.
So, but from your perspective, what's going on in America today, I would say if you don't do the podcast with him, you're helping the establishment and you're helping a guy named Joseph Biden. I think you're helping that person. That's kind of weird. But indirectly in your mind, you're helping Joseph Biden win by not interviewing Trump.
Did you come on this podcast specifically to try to get me to interview Trump?
No, you brought up Trump multiple times. I never brought it up.
It seems like you did. I think you did.
I could tell you, Joe, don't go live with this podcast and keep it until after you do Trump's interview. And then say, Pat told me don't do it, and then they're going to release this, even if it's 3 months from now. I wouldn't care if you did that. Your guys' support, I respect. I love the work you're doing. I'm talking to you as if the camera's not on right now. Don't go live with this. Go live a week after Trump. And we can date it right now. We can show the phone. It's 3/12, August 2nd, Wednesday. Okay, here's camera. If you don't go live with this until after Trump, I don't care.
Well, I'm going to go live with
I'm just saying to you, from my perspective, what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want you to think there is a, my purpose of being here in Austin. I've been working on a gift for you.
I was going to make jokes and say that, about PBD and be like, if you need to act this cringe and this dumb to be super rich and all that, I don't want it. I don't want it. If this is the level, I would never go. But I think PBD, I would like to see the rest of his podcast. This might be his last time on the Joe Rogan
I think
show.
so, because
he did not this look on Joe Rogan. This I would have been scared. Hold on. Let's just hear it one more time.
Interviewing Trump.
Did you come on this podcast specifically to try to get me to interview Trump?
No, you brought up Trump multiple times. I never brought it up.
It seems like you did. I think you did.
I could tell you, Joe, don't go live with this podcast and keep it until after you do Trump's interview, and then say, Pat told me don't do it, and then they're going to release this, even if it's 3 months from now. I wouldn't care if you did that. Your guys' support, I respect. I love the work you're doing. I'm talking to you as if the camera's not on right now. Don't go live with this. Sure. Go live a week after Trump. And we can date it right now. We can show the phone. It's 3/12, August 2nd, Wednesday. Okay, here's camera. If you don't go live with this until after Trump, I don't care.
Well, I'm going to go live.
I'm just saying to you, from my perspective, what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want you to think
I read
there
too
is
much
a,
into that look. My bad.
No, I think that question was I don't know, man. But okay, but I don't know, man.
But how many cringe things did this guy do? And then there's the video of him bringing the gift. It's a 3-hour podcast. Are you allowed to do this?
All right, go. You can maybe, go to the gift video, play the gift video with audio silence. And now I'm going to put forward my case. Okay. I come from, in northern Iran. We really don't like Persians. And this is why these guys, man, look at did you see the strategy of, don't put this up at all live. This is like typical. Am I wrong in Iran? You go to somebody's house. And
even though he actually
you should stay over the night. You should stay over the night. And you're like, I don't have pajamas. I give you pajamas. I'm wearing pajamas right now. Maybe you should wear pajamas too. And you have to stay. Okay, I have work tomorrow. I call your boss. I know your boss. I get some time off for you. And he's like, just leave me alone, you motherfuckers. As they say in Persian, they cut your head with cotton, or the English version, they kill you with kindness. And then this motherfucker, he brought 5 gifts. 5 gifts, and these really personal, I don't know, man. It's just such a bootlicker. I don't know. I feel like such a bootlicker.
And seriously, well done. And he doesn't need it. I guess that's
I don't know why
part of his image.
That's no, man. It becomes a habit. That's how they raise. And you're right. That's increasingly, not always, but sometimes I think if the price of being rich is to become to adapt such a personality, I kind of rather,
And you know what's so funny, man? I've never seen a Joe Rogan clip be posted, like an interview be posted on the other person's channel, and he even somehow got permission to post just a clip. He doesn't commentate over it. He's not discussing, and he literally just posts 12 minutes of the interview on his own channel. I've never seen that.
I don't know about Joe Rogan, but I've seen that with other people.
Others,
that's pretty normal.
No, others, when the person gets you come, I give you whatever the fuck you want. But Joe Rogan, I've never seen that.
I see.
Oh,
but I just
Jesus
urge
Christ.
people just to confirm my theory though about him being the most Persian, as in the whole sweet talk and all that shit that Persians do. Just please go watch the BBC documentary Iran and the West and take a look at the nuclear negotiations.
But how does this...
I swear to God, man, the nuclear negotiations was like for first 4 years was Iranians taking like foreigners to different restaurants and hotels in Tehran, and like Westerners be like, so maybe we should get down to the nuclear issue and all that, and Persians be like, no, what did you think of the tea? I think the tea is very nice. You look great in that dress. You look great. You know, they just want to compliment you until they get what they want, basically. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
But I mean, what was his excuse that he's giving 5 gifts?
He said, I'm a Middle Easterner. I didn't want to come empty-handed, which is okay, but bring
5?
Bring a packet of, pastry, which is the normal thing to do, not, but 5. One of them, he called Lenny Bruce's daughter to get the microphone that Lenny Bruce used. You know Lenny Bruce? He was like the first comedian in the US to go to. Yeah.
I mean, people say, wow, Joe Rogan really appreciated it. I mean, like, I guess so. Did he steal stuff from a museum? Like, how did he get his hands on these gifts?
No, Lenny Bruce's daughter.
The original Constitution. It's missing now, of course.
Listen,
but you have it.
The FBI is after me right now. They're about to break into this studio any moment. Take it immediately.
So this, I broke it. Like.
I don't know.
Even this book, I stole it from the library. I just got so used to it.
What is this book? What is it?
Choose your enemies wisely. No, it's his own book, Patrick Bet David. Oh, so it culminates in his own book.
Of course it does.
But that's a message for us. I hope Patrick Bet David never sees us as an enemy. We're friends.
He's I don't know. Enemy would be good though. He might bring us on his podcast and he'll ask us, okay, you're gonna start up a planet on your own. Which religion? What kind of girls? Like, are we talking big boobs or small boobs?
And you get one of these 2 co-hosts. Which one do you want? Your pick.
Yeah, you take Adam or the other loser. I don't even know his name. Just doing fantasy like questions. It would be amazing.
But yeah.
Man, Cenk, I felt like that was for us too, especially. It was such a cultural clash. Cenk on his show, Turk going against the
it's funny.
Iranian.
Alrighty, Sam. So let's keep this going. Let's transition to some Lex Fridman interview and all this. But maybe as we get into this, so you found the footage of actual Lex Fridman wrestling and grappling with Mark Zuckerberg. So I'll play this a little bit in background. What was your angle here?
No, tell us, does this make you more confident that Zuckerberg is gonna, I don't know, are they showing the skills? I don't really understand anything. So I'm
absolutely impossible for me to tell anything really, because of course Mark Zuckerberg knows and Lex Fridman knows a bit too, but they're just practicing drills, right? These are all like practicing drills. So they're letting one person do what they're supposed to the other person, right? And it's kind of hard really to tell much from it, but you can say that they know a few of all these mechanics, and if someone really knew this sport really well, they could probably tell if these guys, the way they're drilling is correct or not. But yeah, it's just hard to tell because of the fact
that
what about
the body stuff? Is it, I don't know, is the body shape, or is he in shape, or is he, I don't know.
Very hard to tell like that.
That's
Lex Fridman is obviously he's not like a fat guy or something. And of course, Mark Zuckerberg, we've seen a bit more. But it looks okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Putting that aside, now let's get to the fun. What the hell is going on? Why is it like an MIT researcher wrestling like Facebook? What kind of communities?
Sports are for everyone, okay?
Oh yeah, we get to that because after this Mark Zuckerberg thing, we're gonna have a Lex Fridman Scientology where he mentions the sports communities in a hilarious manner. But that guy
doesn't know about sports because he was in He was a Scientologist.
He was in a
Did
cult.
you hear that part?
Yeah.
So what
Exactly.
this guy? So this.
Let's go to that then.
So Lex Fridman interviews this former Scientologist who explains Scientology, and credit to him,
I think
maybe others have
job.
also explained, simply as he did, but he did a good job just explaining just what they tell you and what they say and all that. But yeah, there's one part, what I mentioned was the fact that Lex Fridman brings up Plato, and I think he said it half jokingly. I guess now he knows who Plato is, but the former Scientologist is like, yeah, I don't know who Plato is. I was
no, but this video is fascinating. It's a true glance into somebody who might not know a lot and somebody who is actually stupid, like genuinely.
Who's who?
You know, I'll let people guess, but then after we play the video, and I think we should play later on as well. It's in minute 7 that it becomes clear.
I mean,
that somebody who doesn't know a lot and somebody who's just genuinely really
I'm curious to see which one
cannot figure out life.
So I'll play a little bit and then I'll move on to minute 7. But pretty much here he's
7 to 9-ish.
Let's maybe watch 1 minute or so. But
yeah,
beginning he's explaining what Scientology is.
Let's do a full overview of Scientology, its ideas, how it operates, how it wields its power and influence. And let's start at the very basics. What is Scientology?
Scientology is a belief system created by L. Ron Hubbard that does fundamentally believe that we are all immortal spiritual beings called Thetans, that we have native godlike potential, that there is nothing more powerful in the universe than a Thetan. So godlike is, quite literal here. And that through various decisions Thetans have made, they have fallen away from their native godlike power to fallen down to a state where most Thetans aren't even aware that they are Thetans, aren't even aware that they ever have lived before or have these powers. And that Thetans are now in a state where they're trapped in bodies, trapped here on Earth, trapped in this prison of a physical universe, trapped on this prison of a planet. And that only Scientology can restore a Thetan to its...
Okay, then I'm going to move on a little bit further. And then if I miss it, he's going to mention, maybe this is relevant, he's going to mention, if not, I can say it, how he got into Scientology.
In some fundamental way. So this Thetan that is me.
Go further, go away.
The manifestation, not just religion, but there's a lot of religions that have
a reactive mind.
Okay, anyway, I don't know if that's at the 7 minute, but he mentions that I think he got, at the age of 4, his mom took him into Scientology, right? And it's been a few years that he's come out. And one other interesting thing that he said, at least that I remember right now, just to mention it, is that he's at different levels of Scientology, they tell you different things, I think, about what it is and what it means.
Oh yeah, it's so Scientology has different levels. You get to different levels and they tell you different things. But yeah, maybe we have to rewind a little. I forget, but there is something here, somewhere around here. He makes a joke, which is exactly what you're referring to, the fact that he's been from very childhood into Scientology, and then Lex Fridman responds to that joke, and that's the bit I want to get into. It's really good.
Hopefully it's here.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful model of the mind. I mean, Freud had similar conceptions. Imperfect puzzle,
where took it from.
No. The early days of that. Pray from that
sexuality, or
it was,
and it goes in early childhood, something like this. And then we're trying to figure out the puzzle, whatever we formed in early childhood. Right. I mean, it's similar.
So sorry, just here. I mean, you heard the Freud part, hopefully. So after he just is done telling him about L. Ron Hubbard, one of the most, everybody knows he was a con man and idiot, Scientology, all that shit. And Lex is this is a bit of a foreshadowing to what's come to next. And Lex hear this and he's like, this reminds me of the ideas that Freud had about childhood and how. And then listen to the other guy's response, and you see the difference between an idiot and somebody who might not just know a lot. I think now it's becoming clear who I think is idiot.
Okay, so then I agree.
Similar kind of.
It is similar. It's probably what Hubbard took it from. in the early days of Dianetics, before he decided psychiatry was evil, he actually credited Sigmund Freud with some of the shoulders he was standing on in writing Dianetics.
So he still admired psychiatry at that time. So that's an interesting moment of Dianetics. So what else? You mentioned Dianetics. Auditing was there too. So if we just, before Scientology, what are the ideas that formed what we know as Dianetics?
As I've just described, that is the fundamental. That is pretty much the nuts and bolts of Dianetics.
Was it applied? Was it applied often?
Oh yeah, no, that's what Dianetics in the early days was all about, was just auditing. Auditing is the process of the one-on-one counseling, recall a moment of pain and unconsciousness, run through the engram over and over and over again, find something earlier similar. That is Dianetics auditing. One of the main things that changed with Scientology is that birth or prenatal engrams were no longer the earliest engrams on the chain.
Yeah.
The idea is you have to get the earliest engram on the chain for the later ones to blow, which is erase.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but all of a sudden now, with the addition of an immortal spiritual being into the equation, well, now the earliest incident could be trillions of years ago in other galaxies and universes.
Other universes? So before the origin of this universe?
Yes.
Is there a model of physics integrated in any of this?
No. The model is you have the physical universe and then
No, I mean, we're gonna get to good part, but just the question that you're confronted with one of the most idiotic thoughts have ever put forward.
And the guy is trying to tell you that it's idiotic.
Yeah, and the guy is being so like genuine and down to earth about the details, not mixing you up with like technical jargon bullshit and all that. And your first question is there a physical sort of model integrated into this? Do they have anything regarding gravity? Do they cover that or anything? It's just unbelievable. This man's delusions. But it gets better, man. He gets angry with this guy. Play. It's good.
Have the theta universe. So we used the word thetan earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So in Scientology, they also use the word theta. I don't know. Theta is just basically thetan power. Thetans collectively. So Hubbard would say you have the theta universe, which is senior to the physical universe and creates the physical universe. And remember, I said native godlike potentials. So we're not talking about the God who created the earth. We're just like Scientologists don't believe in a God, but we'll get into that later. We're talking about just creating universes. Like, just think like Matrix. Like, just when I say creating a universe, essentially just creating different thetan simulations.
But it sounds like a little bit more like the ideas of Plato, which is there's these Platonic forms, there's abstract forms that are bigger, more general.
Thank you for the
particular
graph there.
Reality here, and those forms are used to construct the reality.
Well, I grew up in a cult, so I'm not familiar with the works of Plato.
You can't use that as an excuse for everything. I would like to, non-jokingly steel man the case, because a lot of philosophies, a lot of religions, a lot of even scientific endeavors are a little bit full of uncertainty. You can call it bullshit, but you're on unsturdy ground because we're surrounded by mystery, and you have to take these ideas somewhat seriously and see where those ideas go wrong. This happens with communism. This happens with capitalism. These ideas sound beautiful in their ideal forms, and then they somehow go wrong. And some go more wrong than others. And so I don't think it's
as if he's like pissed at at the guy that he doesn't believe in Scientology is like enough or something.
But
sort of caricature and make fun of the ideas. I think if we take them seriously, you start to understand, like, when you're in it, it was serious. It can be very convincing. It's, the devil is going to be a charismatic person. He's not going to be a caricature, a ridiculous person. So that helps us understand which ideas
he's obsessed with charisma
will sound appealing, but will become dangerous.
I totally agree. In fact, it's one of the...
He's obsessed with charisma.
People like Lex, man, they are the biggest problem with the world. These idiots, the idiots like this, because you got these like people who don't like just this motherfucker, and the arrogance that we have to take him seriously, we have to deal with these ideas seriously. Motherfucker, who the fuck is we? Who are you? Who do you think you think your program is gonna change so many people's idea? Oh, we have to take these ideas. See, this is similar to Plato's ideal forms. Oh my God, this reminds me of Spinoza's pantheism. Oh, go shove it up your ass.
I mean, he's not only
these
he's
people
like,
are
not only a party pooper. He's like a dumb party pooper.
It's just no. These people are like 90% of world problems are due to these assholes. I like the people
right?
who take fucking
this weird combination
scripture
of like,
asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. No. I was just gonna say people who take a scripture as literal are much easier to deal with than these psychos that want to fucking analyze everything to death. And oh my God, what does this idea come from?
But at a very basic level too,
was referring to
like at the surface level of each of these guys, you know, like the first 2 pages that you hear about Freud or Plato, right? I feel like everything they're all like at the very, it's just as if that's why it sounded dumb. It's like a dumb party pooper because you're bringing up like things to sound like kind of like smart or refer to things, but also you're referring to them in like the plainest or like most basic way. Or
sorry to go back to what I said earlier, but again, because they are not educated in history at all. They are all like fucking evangelicals or Wahhabi Muslims, as in they go back to the original source and try to do literal translations, and then they connect that. I'm not even joking. I swear to God, that is it. They connect that literal to they don't pay attention. If you pay attention to Platonic tradition and how it evolved, Neoplatonism, Islam, Avicenna, blah blah blah. It's like all different. They don't want to pay attention to any of that. They just want to go, oh, he said ideal forms, and this is similar to that. And what do you think? And it's just they're like comic book readers, but for philosophy or something. You know, it's just genuine. I don't know how can we get rid of these people? Is there any way we could just stop them from being, or I don't know. These people piss me off more than anyone.
I know, I agree with you. I mean, yeah, it pisses me off because I feel like it's a front for like being smart and curiosity. Like it just seems fake. Although maybe he's not being fake. Maybe those are the genuine thoughts that cross his head.
No, it's genuine, man. He's that stupid. He's that empty. Like it's genuinely, it's pontification. It's just pontification. I mean, unbelievable. And the fact that the other guy is using, you know, like he's trying to be have some levity about the topic, and he's no, let's take these the guy who said Zeno came to Earth 1,000 years ago, we have to take that seriously. Let's take that based on philosophical, inductive and deductive reasoning methods. Can we find something there? Go shove it up your ass. Sorry.
But okay, all right, let's move on to another equally hilarious video, which will be it will feature RFK Jr. indirectly, but Max Blumenthal and Jimmy Dore.
We have special guests.
Oh, sorry about that, but okay, Sam. Got too excited there, got ahead of myself. But yeah,
of course.
The video is entitled by Jimmy Dore, RFK Jr. agrees, in brackets, again, to interview with Max Blumenthal about Israel. So as we'll find out quickly, of course, the title is a bit misleading, but we'll find that out very quickly. And yeah, we're probably going to stop early on in the video and then watch a bit more and then discuss a little bit more. But yeah, Max Blumenthal is going to come on Jimmy Dore's show right now to you know, talk about RFK Jr. and of course whether he would debate about Israel or Palestine.
Basically, this is the latest update in the anti-establishment resistance news. RFK is going, it seems to be there is some development in his leadership tactics. We are all very excited. So let's see where the anti-establishment candidate is going to do. Well, what the anti-establishment.
Yes, with us. Max Blumenthal is here. He's the award-winning journalist, as well as the editor-in-chief of The Gray Zone. He's also a best-selling author of several books, including Goliath, The 51-Day War, and The Management of Savagery. Please welcome back to the show, Max Blumenthal. Hi, Max.
Hey, Jimmy.
So now we had on RFK Jr. and he started coming at me with a lot of stuff about Israel. You know, like he went back to the Ottoman Empire and stuff. And so he starts overwhelming me, and I was easy for him to go right through. But I got him to agree to do an interview with you because you're the guy to talk to him about this, not me. It's not my wheelhouse.
He's the guy.
I'm more of a Russiagate, Syria, Ukraine kind of a Libya kind of a guy. Venezuela too, I'll take it. But anyway.
So I'm a kind of a Russia. What was it? Russia, Syria, Libya.
No, Russiagate.
And
Russia,
Ukraine. Russiagate. But Syria, Libya, and
Venezuela.
What was the other? Venezuela. Let's. But I mean, it's just he's an expert on those, Camille. And then when I say that you should become our South American correspondent and French correspondent, you're like, no, just because I speak. This man has seen over like 3 videos, like on Syria, and he's also married to somebody who can speak Spanish. And you think,
but he doesn't know anything
French
about
expert?
Israel, Palestine.
I
don't think that's
forget, by the
possible.
Way, let's not forget, by the fact that Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, they were until like 50 years ago were like geographically the same area. You cannot be an expert on Syria like without Israel. It's just not, as Camille just pointed out, it's not possible. It's not. It's not like. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. It's like going to Italy and eating an Italian restaurant and like, no, I never had pasta or pizza. Like, okay.
No, Camille, from now on though, I like to say I'm the Middle East expert. When I was about 9-10, we once traveled to France. We also drive through Monaco and northern Italy. So I believe that I can also be Italian expert. I don't know where are you going to take up? Yeah, are you going to take up your responsibility of South America, becoming the South American expert? Come on, man, become this. And Portuguese.
Jimmy already got one as well.
Portugal. I mean, no, but we can. Yeah, we are like outside experts. He's the inside expert from America. It's just. I'm so glad he didn't mention Iran. I was like, I'm Iran expert too. I covered the, it's just, thank you. I love the fact that you don't even have to speak a country's language to become an expert in that country. It's like, the Russian experts.
Right, okay. Let's watch a little bit more here. Max says also.
So here's what happened.
And find out what the justification. And I love Max Blumenthal, but I do not think he's objective on Israel. I think his reporting on Israel is not.
That's a bit of a revelation.
It needs to be questioned.
So now exactly what Peter Hotez did to him and Joe Rogan, which he's publicly saying you're wrong about stuff. So then Joe Rogan said, let's have the debate. Hotez. Yep. And RFK Jr. and everybody's all for it. People put up hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million. And so now he did the exact same thing that Peter Hotez did to him. So now he's calling into question your facts publicly. And so I think the very least is that you're a journalist. He's running for president. He's going to question your facts. You're one of the leading guys on this. That he should sit down for an interview. That's the least he should do, or else he's going to be seen as pulling a Hotez. And so that's what I said to him. Okay, well, here's what I would ask. Just like, Peter Hotez ducked you and Joe Rogan, I would.
It's nice for anyone, especially Jimmy Dore, to always give a playback of everything he did as well before just showing us what he did. He could just show us, but no, he's gonna. I was so like good, and I asked him to, do some pat on the back before just showing what you did.
He sounded sincere. I think RFK Jr. is a sincere guy. So Max. You have an update to this story, correct? Somebody from your team talked to his communications director.
Well, this is all reported in the article at the Gray Zone. So there's nothing since I reported yesterday at the Gray Zone that the RFK Jr. 2024 campaign has backtracked and blocked any engagement, public engagement between me and him for the foreseeable future. And they won't exactly say why, except that they will only debate now Joe Biden. Which is interesting, as you said, Jimmy, because back in June, he was enthusiastic to debate Peter Hotez, who is not a Democratic presidential candidate. I mean,
at all. So,
I put in a request for an interview with him early on in the campaign, before he had been so voluble about the Israel issue and was just spouting Likudnik propaganda at events sponsored by fanatical ultra-Zionist operatives like Shmuley Botiek. Before that even happened, I put in a request and I was put in the icebox. So, I'm not a bad faith actor. I'm not supporting Joe Biden. I'm not coming at him as an enemy. I was coming at him as someone who sympathizes with a lot of his positions on Ukraine, on the pandemic. I really enjoyed his book on Tony Fauci. He knows me personally. So but the situation's changed. His communications director, Stephanie Spear, was just very adamant that he would not talk to me.
So let's hear Jimmy Dore.
But I have an update on this story, right? So, because that would look bad. And if I was advising the RFK Jr. campaign, which I am not, I would say that it's better to you to have an interview with Max that you think you're going to look bad in than to duck it, because then you look just as Weasley as the people who have been smearing and sliming you for 15 years straight. You look just as Weasley as Hotez, and that's a loser. It would be better for you to go take your lumps over your campaign, just as bad as the. But update, he texted me, and he said I'm going to do an interview with Max. So I don't know. So we'll see. He said that on my show first. Then they said they weren't, and now he's saying they're going to do it again. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But first, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, this is just, first of all, from a point of view of a communication strategy.
Yeah. So sorry. Long story short.
No, but I like before
I'll come.
Before he says I'll come, I love the part where Max was like, listen, I put my request in before he was famous. Right? Before he was on before anybody knew, I put my request in. I'm a good boy. I've never supported Joe Biden. I hate Fauci too. Fuck him. Fuck Fauci.
Listen, I think RFK's director of communications is smart right now. And even RFK messaging allows Jimmy Dore to say this. And RFK camp can't do anything risky. It's unnecessary for him to do anything risky now. He's on the up and up. So
sure, it's so stupid. Like, he would be so stupid. Nobody gives a shit about foreign policy. Like, nobody knows.
I mean, out of the people who would watch that debate, the percentage who would be Democratic voters are so low. He's just better off knocking on 3 doors. He would have a greater return.
Man, the only effect it will have, it might alienate a couple of people who didn't know that he's so pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, or so. Like, you know what? It's gonna spread the word about his position. That's all it's gonna do, and that's not gonna be good for him either way.
Yeah, he might. He might get some fans. I don't know, in like Canada or like in the Middle East, like places where people can vote.
No, pro-Israeli people are gonna be like, "Why you interviewed Max Blumenthal?" Pro-Palestinian people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is up with your positions?" So why the fuck would he bring up more attention to this? Are you guys? What are you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing, but I mean, hey, it makes sense. They push for it. It will be big for them. I mean, it will be big.
He does. I have to say, I was surprised by the love he has for Blumenthal. I love Max. Like, I've heard people I barely love my parents. I mean, I'm try, but but it's just I love Max Blumenthal, but just okay.
But okay, anything else on this video?
No, that was just I hope Max can do his presentation, and that would be good.
And so this other video, so 2 more videos left here. This was a funny one. So I think we even covered it. Sam Seder went on Sitch and Adam and maybe debated them on some topics and other things. I thought they found, ground. I don't know. I thought that was the case. But then Sam Seder covers like parts of the debate on his own show. And Sam and Sitch and Adam, sorry, cover his coverage, and I guess we're covering their coverage of his coverage of the debate. And long story short, maybe we can play a few clips, a little bit of it, maybe some parts. I don't know what your take is, but
in the beginning,
Sam Seder just acts like the funny. I mean, I'll give it to Sitch and Adam. I'd be pissed off too. He talks about these 2 guys as if like he's just maybe seen a video about them and not someone who, coordinated a call, went on this show, like said hello to them and all this, had an hour talk. No. But hey, I mean, in a way, he's a 50-year-old or something dad. So like I was telling you, if you picture it that way, complete normal behavior. As a professional podcaster, a bit less.
Don't say anything if you don't remember, like the person's name.
I gotta show that. I think it's in the beginning.
Play the beginning. It's after their intro thingy.
Sitch or Adam and Stitch? Yesterday, I did the.
Sorry, as I fixed the volume, it happened yesterday. So it's not a week later. This is yesterday. Where a good part of his day were spent with these 2 people.
Was a spent
yesterday. I did the Adam and Stitch show. Adam and Sitch or Adam and Stitch?
Sitch and Adam or something like that.
Stitch and Adam. Apparently, it's based on like a Disney movie that I had never heard of.
Lilo and Stitch?
Never heard of that. If you reduce the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riots to bad actions by individuals, you are obscuring the reality of both what was going on there, what was going on around the country.
Sorry.
And of Reconstruction.
Wanting to a Sam.
No, but the thing is, it gets much worse. Sorry. So there he starts off good, actually. He vaguely remembers who they are. He's like Sitch and Adam. But it gets actually far worse when, again, he tries to talk about them. Hold on. Let me play a bit more here.
Actually get him to steelman our position. So, but I'll play the clip. You can respond.
I should also say, yesterday, I did the Adam and Stitch show.
I will.
Okay, now you're probably going to you're probably going to want to respond to that right away.
Oh, what an
this
oh my God.
Sitch is very close to Lilo and Stitch, so that's why sometimes my name comes first. Yeah.
Right, and he said, "I don't know what Lilo and Stitch is."
Right.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway.
It gets more interesting. You're going to love this.
Adam and Sitch or Adam and Stitch?
Sitch and Adam or something like that.
Stitch and Adam. Apparently, it's based on like.
I like how Matt knows because Matt's.
Sorry about
they
that.
Pause every 2 seconds.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad.
But
I do not remember it being like that. Much different memory of this video.
No, Sam Seder goes on to pretty much misrepresents their arguments in their debates.
Yeah,
basically,
big time. My bad.
Sam Seder, man, is the most. Like, I really want to like murder him sometimes. Just like the fact that it takes so long for him to say the simplest line. Just, I was there and they argued that if you say, this is like, you finish your fucking thought, you dumbass. Anyway, but he's basically Sitch and Adam I mean, I don't even agree with them as well. They are kind of all these people seem to think media has some connection to reality in a way that media influences reality. All of them. And Sitch and Adam are like, well, you guys accused Tim Pool of one of his supporters becoming a shooter of some kind, like killing some people, going one of those American shooters. And you said Tim Pool's content was responsible. One of your viewers, one of the people commented on TYT and Majority Report, also became a shooter. So, and you guys always talk about fascism. So you're the same kind of, you're inciting people to do violence. And Sam Seder sort of ignores that and ducks the question and all that. But again, if you believe speaking in media leads to physical reality, then yeah, you have to accept Sitch and Adam's criticism, right?
Yeah, no,
Am
that's
I
for
wrong?
sure. I missed that. I didn't even know any of that happened in the video. I was just more
Sam
fixated
Seder,
on his confusion.
Just motherfucker, just that's what he does, man. He just drags on something so long everybody forgets what the fucking premise was.
It's too funny.
And again, no media, like if we're gonna stop like censoring media for leading to violence, then we have to pretty much censor everything. Quran, Bible, Torah, all of them are out. First of all, that's like the first thing that's out. Like evidently the things that have proven to be most connected to acts of violence, those three are out. Are you okay with that? Like even I, as a sort of a non-religious person, I'm not okay with that, because that's pretty much means like 60% of modern literature is eliminated. Like it's based on Bible, Quran, or Torah. Well, like what the fuck? Sorry. Yeah.
No, I agree. But okay, all right. Last but not least, we have this video with Brianna that I haven't watched. But
just watch
when you
2 minutes and
when
tell
you
me.
said when you told me what it feels like, I completely got the feel of the video. So it's called "What Has AOC Actually Accomplished for the Left" with Freddie DeBoer, and yeah, apparently it's like going through a time machine.
The American Rescue Plan, big omnibus COVID relief plan stuffed with all kinds of money for all kinds of things, designed to stimulate the economy and help out from the COVID problems. AOC says beforehand, and there are multiple headlines about this. So if someone of AOC's stature makes a statement about a legislative fight that she's about to have, and you have MSNBC and The Hill and other places that run headline stories about the fact that you say that you're going to start this fight, that those stories aren't happening by accident. Okay, like it's not like oh, they just happened to run remarks on her account. Generally speaking, in Washington, when that happens, it's because there's been a coordinated effort by the staff of the congressperson to get that out there. So she gets a news cycle at the beginning of the rescue plan process out of saying, I'm going to be the champion fighting to include a minimum wage increase. She then very conspicuously not only does she vote for ARP without that stipulation, but she pretty much just folds immediately. I mean, there's no sense in which she is sort of working the sort of back room, trying to push this thing. Now, the Eric Levises of the world will just say, hey, Joe Manchin's in the Senate, so nothing can be done, nothing can be accomplished. But I think that is precisely the sort of thing where you need to fight, if for no other reason than to sort of establish the principle that there will be votes in the future. It's not always going to be a 50-49 or whatever split. And you're going to be able to, you're going to have to be able to show that, you have muscle behind this so people know this is a thing that you take seriously. I will note, since that happened, right, have we...
Man, the thing is, just the topic of AOC itself feels extremely outdated. And then talking about AOC on policies and all that.
No, play a little bit more because it gets hilarious. Just before you play, though, I love the pencil behind the ear.
Yeah, I know.
Hadn't seen that for a very long time.
I like that.
significant movement on a $15 minimum wage since then? No, right? Like you have to take advantage of these moments and establish the precedent for the future. And I think the big point for me that I think really no one has addressed, certainly not Eric Levitz, but no one has addressed is,
Wait,
I
you
am
can't
just
see on my
frustrated
head.
as hell by being caught
you
between
need a big one.
AOC
I
is
have
this
an electronic
transformational figure who transcends politics, and she's swept in here on a revolutionary agenda, and she's like the future of our party. And wow, she's so amazing. By the way, please donate to our campaigns. And then that immediately turns to, oh, but you can't expect anything, right? Like, wait, you thought that she was going to like accomplish something? Oh, you're so naive. You're so silly. That's absurd, right? And it's just been this way with the left Democrats, for at least, 5 or 6 years. It's just that like the constant sort of back and forth between we're coming in to change Washington and please give us your dollars because it's so important.
Right.
But also you're naive and a fool if you think that we ever could have accomplished anything.
Yeah. So to go back just a little bit, not only.
So later on, he goes on to explicitly say that, and I'm going to do a bit of acting here. Listen, I'm tired. I'm tired of being told I'm crazy. I'm tired of being told. First, just check the upload date. Just check the upload
Yesterday,
date, please.
21 hours ago.
So what is the date today? Today
It's the 8th.
I have the Iranian.
So by the time this is
8th
up,
of
though, it's going
August,
to be
2023. So it's 8th of August, 2023, right? I'm not mistaken. This is not like a re-upload.
And this video came out on the 7th, of August.
Yeah, I don't know. Freddie DeBoer, is he like, what is he like? Is he completely offline? Has he been completely? He's like, I'm tired of people telling me that, it's like, who's telling you this? Who are these people telling you you're crazy for? Like, there is a whole fucking media sort of cottage industry on YouTube dedicated to shitting on AOC, and we were partially part of it. And
but unfortunately, it's dried out.
Unfortunately, it's dried out completely.
It might come back if there's a good rain, but
and the king of that industry is Brianna Greyjoy. Like, have you not seen her show for the last 4 years? Like, he's so like, oh, I'm breaking news here. AOC takes your money, but I have not seen any results. Can you? Like, yeah, we know. Everybody knows what you're talking about. And then he's almost crying as somebody who believes in electoral politics. I'm sorry, it's over. Electoral politics is over. It's just get over it. It's just Americans it's just dealing with children. It genuinely feels dealing with children. Like, yes, Santa Claus is not real. I never, like, when you found out Santa Claus wasn't real, did you cry?
No, because I was Muslim. No, because I'm Muslim.
Right. We were happy. We were celebrating. Yeah, we were like, yes, he is not real. Yeah. Muhammad is Santa, not 1 point for Islam.
But yeah, no, that's funny, and I totally agree with you.
Chill the fuck out, everybody. Stop crying. And if you're crying, cry about current issues. Don't cry about issues like 7 years old or something.
I agree with you. But okay, all right. As I put my pen away there, I've been furiously taking notes.
Do you remember finding out, like, I don't know, Santa Claus wasn't real or God wasn't real? Do you remember any of that? Or being it any major, like you?
I mean, I never was made to believe in either of those things, so neither happened.
All right, same. No, I mean, God, I was told, like, not the Muslim God, but I was told there is a thing. Were you not even told that?
I remember, like, from when I was a kid.
People die, they go to heaven.
From whatever memory I have from God and all this, it's always like as if, like, it's like some people say it, some people don't. That's like the closest I ever got. Yeah. But like, I used to think, I always thought since I was a kid, I was like, if there was a God and all this, like, why would he not be in trees or things like that? That was always that made more sense to me. I thought that was a better narrative.
I mean, the pantheism thing that all of nature is God and all its...
That made sense to me. I was like, if someone had told me that, I would have believed that. But nobody approached me
Well,
with
they
that
told me.
proposition. Oh, yeah.
They did. They gave me a Spinoza. That asshole. That
It's like, at
Dutch.
least give me the good shit. If you're giving it to me, at least I
No,
want the
it's
Catholic
bad.
version. I want the full thing.
You have the original, the scripture. I like to go to the source. Pure.
But yeah.
No, but yeah, I just don't remember like ever sort of I just don't remember having that moment of disillusion and like I'm trying to believe, make like, you know what, like I again, even on democracy or anything.
Okay, definitely. Okay, all right. I don't think any kid had that, so you're not alone there. But okay.
Yeah,
let's
adults
up.
don't seem to have that.
But that's true. That I believe. All right, let's wrap this up. If anybody has any comments, question, criticism, please leave them below. If not, please like and subscribe. I will see you in our next video. Thank you.